and welcome back to DangerPanda's Let's Play Loren the Amazon Princess. Now let's head to the castle. Eleanor and Loren walked up to Commander Breza. You remain, Your Highness. Have you reconsidered claiming the title of Queen? Absolutely not. I am preparing for my journey. I do not know how long I will be gone, but my hope is not for very. Of course. You seem suspiciously eager to forget Queen Karen. How dare you? You are a slave. You speak when you are spoken to. I really don't like you, Breza. Silence! She is speaking in my interest. I am surprised in you too. This is your queen you are dismissing so easily. Do not forget that she will return and will hear of your actions to rescue her. Yes, Majesty. I mean only to enforce Amazon traditions, not to dishonor Karen. Queen Karen. Breza gulped and corrected herself, shooting a sharp look towards Eleanor. Moments earlier, Breza had been singing her praises, but now there was an uncomfortable air between them. Yeah, I really don't like Breza. Now let's put some of the new stuff on and see if we can get some stuff at the shop. I don't think so. I don't think we have enough gold for that. Okay, now we're gonna leave the Citadel. We're gonna put Loren in the front row and Eleanor in the back row. Upon seeing Eleanor approach the front gates, Loren demanded an immediate departure. They would leave the security of the Citadel and cross the plains of Aragorn to search for her mother, no matter how long it took to find her. The first place to visit was the town of Grimoire in the Human Empire. Eleanor's first goal was to reach the city of Grimoire, the capital of the Human Empire, but it was a dangerous road plagued by goblins and bandits. When they arrived, however, they would be able to begin their investigation. New quest, travel to Grimoire. Loren and her ally were walking down a road in the middle of the plains, en route to the town of Grimoire. Even though Loren was quiet, Eleanor knew that she was only thinking of saving her mother. The only clue we have is that my mother's guards have disappeared as well. If we find them, then we find my mother. That is a good plan, Your Highness. Their relationship was one might expect between a servant and royalty. Eleanor quietly followed the princess, and only praise and agree with her when given the chance to speak. She was used to being less formal, but then she had never served royalty before. That makes no sense. You've been part of the Queen's harem. Though that's as a cover, but still, you're in the Queen's harem. Loren noticed nothing but this behavior because she was quite used to it. This is the only way out from the Citadel, so Mother must have passed by here. It would be very helpful if there were any witnesses to unusual activity, but Your Highness, may I ask a question? Loren glanced at her with a frown. This was the first time she had dared to speak out of turn. If you must, but I cannot promise that I will answer. Why aren't we using a griffin to travel now? They're faster than walking and much safer. You fool! Aren't you aware of the laws of my people? Eleanor took a step back, fearful for her life. For the most part, yes. My choice to leave the Citadel took away my privileges. The griffins are not allowed to me. Couldn't you change the laws? As queen, but I am not queen. My mother is. I see. I am sorry that I asked, Your Highness. Ah, Loren, you made Eleanor so sad. Now you know. Don't forget it. I guarantee that I shall not, Your Highness. They traveled mostly quiet through the day until it faded to night. The land ran flat with sparse boulders along the path. This looks like a good place to camp. Loren, however, did not stop walking and continued on without word. Your Highness? Keep up! Eleanor sprang from the ground where she was about to start a fire and hurried after her. Loren seemed prepared to travel a lot further that night. Eleanor steeled herself for a very long walk, but she found it more and more difficult to keep her position behind Loren. She was beginning to walk much slower, probably because she's tired. Loren's feet were dragging against the ground rather than proudly stomping ahead like earlier in the day. Eleanor knew that Princess Loren was tired. We should stop for the night and make camp. My mother is out there, waiting for somebody to save her. That someone is me. Loren was not going to stop for even a moment until Queen Karen was recovered. It was now Eleanor's job to keep her from sabotaging herself with her own determination. Which option should we go? Forceful, friendly, joking? I think we're gonna go with joking. By the way you're swerving all around, you either have a hidden bottle of wine or you're tired. She's smirking. I think you might have said the wrong thing, Eleanor. Loren halted and spun around. What did you say to me? Eleanor knew that her life was over. She was too used to speaking freely with her previous mistress, and her tongue got away from her. I'm sorry, Princess. What I meant to say is that I am too exhausted to continue. Loren shifted her weight and put her hands on her hips. You? Yes, yeah, I'm a big snorer. I hope that's not a problem. She's still kinda smirking there. Loren evaluated her, though only superficially. Deep down, she was more tired than Eleanor. I had thought you stronger than this. Loren pushed past her and into the bushy grass. She sat down cross-legged, her back straight, and her arms resting on each knee just like Amazon royalty. Lie down, elf. I will only give you a few hours. Do not waste them. Getting Loren to stop was enough for Eleanor, and she decided not to waste her mistress's generosity. She promptly walked over and laid in the grass next to her, but not too close. Eleanor woke a few hours later to Loren calling her. She did not see Loren sleep a wink. However, Loren's speed and alertness had improved, letting her know that she might have rested after all. I have seen no population since we left. I was told the Grimoire settlement was on this route. Where is it? Is it past that mountain? Which mountain, mistress? You see, before us, you've instructed me to walk straight for it. Princess, that's not a mountain. It is the city of Grimoire. Loren stopped once again to turn to her servant. That is not a city. It is too large. It is a large walled city like the Citadel. Amazons! Loren reached for her sword, bristling at the thought of a competing tribe so close to her home. No! Grimoire is the capital of the Empire, the nation of men. Put that thing away. You might hurt somebody with that. And she was so shocked about it, too. Loren looked at her blade, frowned, and slid it back into its sheath. Others can build cities as great as the Citadel. Are you sure of what you speak? Yes, castles can be constructed by any nation with the proper materials. You didn't know that? Loren winced from the insinuation that she was not well educated. Yeah, Eleanor, stop thinking that Loren isn't well educated. I know that the Amazons are superior to all nations, so the Citadel is superior to all other castles. Yes, your grace. Eleanor learned just how sheltered Loren truly was. Even her former mistress knew all about the outside world. But then, she was allowed to travel outside the Citadel's walls. Loren was not. She knew then that she would have to take better care of her princess than she anticipated. And now we're going to go to the world map and random battles, and we could go to camp. But for right now, we're just going to keep heading towards Grimoire. As they approached Grimoire, the path cut through a wooded area. Loren stopped abruptly and held her arm out to stop Eleanor. Her expression was serious and her voice low. Something isn't right here. They looked around, examining the area for anything out of the ordinary, and they saw it. Somebody was strung up by their feet from a tree limb, head down with a bag covering their body. The bag wreathed. They were still alive. "Help me! Please, help me!" Loren and Eleanor rushed towards the person, but several little screeching creatures sprang down from the tree. Goblins! Fear shot through Eleanor as she realized that a battle was now upon them, and that Princess Loren had never fought outside of training. It was up to her to protect the princess. "Watch yourself." "Same to you." Loren drew her two swords swiftly and hurried to engage the enemies. And now they're all serious. "You do not have to give me any instruction." Eleanor was surprised to see how swiftly Loren moved as she fought. She started with a vertical slash that moved so quickly that her blade looked like a solid arc of silver. The goblin collapsed to the ground in a bloody mess as she lifted her other sword in a horizontal slash to behead another goblin. She danced between the enemies and evaded their attempts, and counterattacked with ease. Eleanor looked surprised to see how beautifully deadly all of her movements were. Loren impaled another goblin through the heart in one quick stab, retracting her blade and flickering the blood off the metal with casual ease. She didn't have to stop to catch her breath, nor did she break a sweat in the short battle. Yeah, everybody's fine there. But yeah, one reason why I like this game is that Eleanor is actually just Loren's sidekick rather than the main protagonist, and we'll see why later on, but yeah. And I don't think we need to heal anybody quite yet, but yeah. And another reason why I like Loren the Amazon Princess is that it kind of reminds me of my childhood when I used to watch Xena Warrior Princess. Because Loren, in this case, is technically Xena. Stop with your ranged attacks, goblins. Then again, I'm making Eleanor use her ranged attacks, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, otherwise, Eleanor's technically like Gabrielle in this situation. Anyway, moving on. Eleanor hurried to keep up with her, but the fight was over quickly. Loren kept her swords in her hand as she approached the stranger and cut the restraining rope. Eleanor grimaced, but found some amusement at Loren's obvious lack of concern for the person. The person tumbled down from the tree, groaned, and then squirmed out of the bag, covering him. A leaf-blonde man stood up and brushed the dirt from himself. Ow, the ground hurts quite a bit, actually. Who are you? Even though the man's ears were tucked neatly behind his hair, Eleanor noticed them sticking out from his disturbed locks. They were pointed. You are a half-elf, aren't you? Oh, guys, I guess. Yes, I am the half-breedy type. Half-elf. Is that a problem? No, why should it be? I think the only problem is that he's a man, but... He swiftly took Eleanor's hands and shook them gratefully. Oh, that's great. My name is Draco, but what shall I call this lovely flower? I hope you're not doing that towards Loren. I don't think she'd appreciate that, Draco. Enough of your nonsense. Yep, definitely didn't appreciate that. Loren waved her weapons as if he were as much of a threat as the goblins. Was it simply because he was a man, or had her isolation at the Citadel turned her paranoid? Now, don't get upset. I'm just playing around. Identify yourself now. Your Highness, he just said... I'm surprised you haven't heard of me. I am the all-powerful master fire magician. Suddenly he waved his fingers in front of him and created a brief fireball. He made a sound effect to accompany it and laughed. But his laughter was cut short when Loren kicked him straight in the chest and hurled him back towards the ground. It was just a demonstration. I mean no harm, honestly. Your Grace, I believe he won't hurt us. Loren slowly pulled her sword away from Draco's throat and stood straight. You're right, because he's too incompetent to do any damage. Incompetent? That's not fair. I'm actually really good with fire magic. All kinds, but fire is my favorite. My last name is Firestarter, after all. Oh, then how did you get captured so easily by a small group of little goblins if you're so powerful? Loren, he's just... Never mind. It was a different group. A bigger group. Goblins as tall as trees. Yes, trees! Eleanor tried not to giggle in front of her mistress, for Loren would surely punish her. Don't worry, Eleanor, I'll giggle for you. That's a very convenient excuse. Why so serious, Loren? It was. They were accompanied by a very powerful goblin shaman. I couldn't hold out against them all on my own, and the shaman was as big as 2 trees. Ba ba ba. Draco blinked once and then burst out laughing, and Eleanor joined him. Yes, exactly. Silence. And then they were silent. You let your guard down, no matter how tall the goblin. That is unacceptable. I'm more useful than you may think, lady. Perhaps you would be interested in my services. I wouldn't charge much. No, we are not interested. Draco looked disappointed at her blunt response. Not even if I throw in an especially beautiful lady discount? No, Draco, she's not interested in you. Loren ignored him and walked away. See, Draco? She wasn't interested. So you're lost then. Bye, I suppose. They walked away from the disappointed magician. Eleanor spoke quietly to Loren once they were out of earshot. I'm sure that won't be the last time we see that man. Unfortunately. Alright, and I think that's a good place to stop for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to, anyway.